Hi, my name's Adam Rakis, and I would love to come to React Miami 2026 and give a talk on web performance. In particular, I would like to go over some of the less commonly discussed, slightly more niche topics in web performance. I would go over what they are, how they work, what they do for you, and most importantly, what the trade offs are. I would start with streaming, which is a great way to start a request for data on the server, but not block the rest of your page from rendering. So you can render the entire rest of your page while that single piece of data has already started loading on the server. And when the data do come in, the server can push the update down and your web page can replace whatever loading spinner you put in there with the actual data now that it's available. It's a great way to compensate for some pieces of data that you might depend on, which are a little slower than you might like. Of course, the trade off is if you do it too much and you stream too many things, you will render way too many loading spinners at first, and they will all be like popping out of existence very quickly to be replaced with data as those data come in. It can create a jarring experience for the user. So you want to use it cautiously, judiciously, just for those few pieces of data that are very, very slow. I would move on and talk about service workers next. Service workers are a great, great tool that allow you to install code directly on the end user's machine, right inside the browser. Service workers live inside the browser and they have their own little cache mechanism. So you can actually install content, script pages, HTML files, styles, right on the user's machine. So when the user comes back and revisits your site, it can render directly from service worker cache without even touching the network, as close to zero latency as you can possibly get. Of course, the trade-off is freshness. If the web application has been updated since the last time the user browsed to your site, well, the user is looking at stale content. The service worker will automatically update in the background to get the latest content, and you can show a little toast notification saying, hey, there's updates, click to display them. But if your site is updated very frequently, that can be a little annoying to the user to constantly be seeing those little toast pop-ups. And I would round the talk out by talking about IndexedDB, which is sort of a sister technology to service workers. It's a whole database that exists right inside your browser. And of course, you can pull down data that your web app depends on and stick it right in your IndexedDB. And then you can have offline sync tools like Replicache or Zero lean on that and create a whole offline sync structure for you. You can just read your data directly from IndexedDB, and then there will be a background sync. So very, very, very quick load times and display times and render times, but the trade-off is you are going to have to deal with update conflicts. And those are all the topics I would get into. I think it would be a great talk. I think attendees would learn a lot and walk away with some fun ideas on how they can improve web performance on the things they work on. I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.